Hootie and the Blowfish. And what I'm about to share with you has absolutely nothing to do with good policies with Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency. But I got to share this. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So we had Kingdom's Got Talent show Friday afternoon at the fair.
Oh, how'd that go?
Well, thank God the weather gods stopped the thunder showers
Nice.
and the rain, so we were prepared. We were under the roof on the stage.
On the stage, yeah, the grandstand. Yeah.
We had a fellow by the name of Stephen Trombley, singer and guitar player.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we had Larry Davis, was a fiddle player. Phoenix Newell from Riverside School sang while her mom played ukulele. Michelle
Was
Breer.
Simon Cowell one of the judges? I mean, this sounds legit.
No, but we had Todd Nickerson there.
Oh, there you go.
Elizabeth Booth sang, Molly Hack sang. Where I wanted to go here, Steven started things off, and he started off with a bang. I mean, I bawled. I'm not kidding you. Bruce joked with me because I had tears in my eyes. Steven, 14 years active duty, okay, shared a story as he sang a Darius Ruckers song. Which we just played Darius Ruckers from Hootie, right?
Absolutely.
And what a powerful performance. And it carried the weight all the way through the show, and he won the $300. But what an amazing voice.
Well, I'm very bummed I missed it now.
Yeah, it was a great show. So he won the
awesome.
Yeah, he won the $300. Larry Davis, fabulous fiddle player, won $200, and young Phoenix Newell from Riverside School won $100 at the fair.
Nice.
And on behalf of the community, again, thanks for the support of the Caledonia County Fair this year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fair is just—it's all the local fairs: the Danville Fair, Caledonia County Fair, Lancaster Fair. I mean, these are staples. North Haverhill Fair. It provides us a sense of community, and it's just an awesome thing to be a part of Caledonia County for sure.
It's a right in the kingdom. We love it.
Yeah.
So recently got a new car, had an experience coming in. My first drive into work.
By the way, temporary license plates are bullseyes for accidents.
Oh, yeah. Well,
just so you know.
Well, it was a bullseye. I took a rabbit right through the bottom of the grill my first drive in. So,
oh, man.
Since we're talking insurance with Barrett Insurance Agency, an incident like that, which doesn't involve another motor vehicle,
Right.
not a considerable amount of damage, what would that be termed?
Sure. So that's a comprehensive loss. And depending on the company, right? So comprehensive, as if insurance wasn't difficult enough to comprehend. But insurance companies, some call it comprehensive and some call it other than collision. It's the same thing, just a different name. So it's Pepsi Coke, if you want to go that route. Although Pepsi people hate me, now Coke people hate me. But you know what I mean? But what it is it's what covers damage to your vehicle that is due to incidents like hitting an animal. So hitting a rabbit would fall under comprehensive coverage. It would not be deemed an at-fault accident. If you filed the claim because you have comprehensive coverage, you'd very likely not see any kind of surcharge unless it was a moose and very, 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 very significant damage. You might see the removal of a loss credit or something. But otherwise, it's not going to stick with you for long. It's not going to be an at-fault, and it shouldn't hurt you if you're shopping for insurance afterwards either.
Okay, so not a major catastrophe, but it is... I think you use so many different companies that you work with, and they all have their terminology, but you always seem to get us focused in the right direction when you start, saying like some call it comprehensive, some call it other than collision.
Just to mess with me. Well, I'm sure that wasn't their intention, but that's what happened.
So that's something to think about in your insurance policies. And also the kids have headed back to school. And you mentioned, we had this chat about 3-4 weeks ago, how important it is for the kids' insurance to be up to par as they head off.
As they're heading off, my niece is heading off to Georgia to art school. They're leaving Sunday morning. So here she is departing the Northeast Kingdom, going down there. So here's a good question. Use her as an example. Is she covered? Well, here's the thing. I think she's living on the dorm, in the dorm. So yes, you'd be covered up to 10% of her mom and dad's personal property coverage, subject to her mom and dad's deductible. So not a lot of limitations there. She also is still considered a dependent of the household. She's still a relative living in the household, so she would have the liability and the medical payments to others still at her disposal and coverage as well. Though medical payments to others stays at the dwelling, but she would still have liability coverage that would protect her, God forbid, if she's held liable for bodily injury or property.
All right, so we're going to test my retention here.
Sure, go for
on
it.
how well I remember that last conversation. So you said that she is going south. She's leaving the state of Vermont.
Yep.
So she's not in Vermont.
Right.
But she'll be living in a dormitory, so her coverage here is still good. Am I remembering
You
this
are
right?
remembering it correctly.
But it would be different if she was living off campus in an apartment.
Yeah, because, the way coverage C, which is personal property on a homeowner policy, the way that extends, and this falls for anybody, even mom and dad. Let's say you have a secondary property. Let's say you have a camp. Let's say you're camping and a camper. Places that are used as temporary residences will have afforded to them up to 10% of your personal property coverage. Most people have well over $100,000 in a regular homeowner policy because they might have their home insured for $200,000 or $300,000 anyway. So you're talking $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in most cases that you'd have that would be afforded to you at other locations that are temporary. So the second you go from living in a dorm to renting, you're wiggling that line of whether it's temporary or permanent, even if you don't plan on being there permanently. Obviously, who does when they rent? But that would be where you'd want to look and get a renter's policy in the state that you are in.
So, in other words, does this kind of go along with a mailing address kind of thing?
Not really.
Okay.
Because you can insure property and have a different mailing address. If you have a camp, you could still use home as the mailing address. So it's not necessarily, it's more along just understanding the risk, because at the time of a loss, that's when the onions are going to get peeled and they're going to take layers away and discover of that period of discovery, understand whether you're living there permanently or temporarily, a dorm versus, it's just the worst word in my industry is gray. That is literally, it's the worst word in most industries, right? But in my industry, for sure, gray. And our really primary goal is to identify the gray and not have it there. We want no gray. We want to wash the gray away. Hey, there you go. There's my new slogan. But that's really what we want to do. So we want to make sure we have an understanding of the risk so that at the time of a loss, you're not caught off guard.
Okay. So being prepared and asking the questions, having the conversation's key.
Man, wash the gray away. That's a reference of like an 80s commercial. It really just
I'm
gave
going to
away
wash
my
that
age.
gray right out of my hair. Barrett Insurance Agency is
Washing my
on
soaps.
Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Mike, we always enjoy you coming in. Tell folks how they get in touch with you for all of their insurance needs.
Sure. You can give us a call, 748-5224. Find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
All right. Hey, stay cool out there.
You too.
I think today it may be an iced coffee day.
It might be. Nah, I'll stick with the hot.
I still got hot. Coming up, music from Andy Grammer, Magic